So I have to start doing live broadcasts on YouTube now. But so I had the landscape company was directed by a board member to come by and cut my flowers out of my plants because they don't like having water-wise California native wildflowers. I ended up just hacking them out. I don't know why, but there they go. So I was doing these on TikTok, but with TikTok being verted by the white supremacy groups and the Nazis and the MAGA people who are mad that they're not allowed to post hate crimes and other stuff on their platform, they're having it removed. I guess that's why. Not sure why they think that it matters. I mean, Trump's been using stuff from China for years. Oh, and then to document the property management company not doing their job. So building 19, water panel access doors open for years. And it's a bummer because those are open to the interior wall space of every building. So they're filled with rats and mice and water damage and all kinds of stuff. And I imagine that some of them are so damaged that probably repair work would be. Building 49, same thing, and they've left these open in the worst rainstorms we've ever had. Oh, look, building 17 too. House after house after house. But I just do this to document my walk because there's a couple of police officers in the community and a couple of other folks who've been doing death threats and horrible gaslighting of the neighbors to try to come out and have me killed and telling me they're going to have their family come beat me to death and kill my dog. So it's just nuts. So now I have to just document everything. It's kind of a bummer too because the night my husband died, they had emergency services here for his last few hours on Earth, and they harassed the medical service personnel with a warning ticket for parking in the community, which is bizarre because guest parking for emergency service personnel should be completely acceptable, but it's not. So somebody filed a false report and they threatened my hospice nurse for parking in a guest spot and not having a safe list parking pass. But the community actually only enforces things arbitrarily and uses them to harass me and my husband, who died from pancreatic cancer after 11 days, which was a horrible adventure, to say the least. But like here's a car in a guest spot with no safe list parking pass on the car. Oh, and they also try to have my car impounded from my own driveway because somebody filed a false police report. So they came over and kind of pounded on my car parking control in my own parking spot. And the property management company said it was because I probably had expired plates, which I do not and have not. And I'll show you as we walk around the community, we have multiple violations from actual board members and community members who have had expired plates since, I think the oldest one was 2022. And that's a homeowner, and they park in the guest spot, and you're actually not supposed to park in the guest spots as a homeowner. So I just walk around and document the stories and the shenanigans going on because I have to do that. In general, these videos are boring. They're only for documentation of the harassment and the fraud by the board members to steal parking spots from the HOA. I guess one of the board members has multiple cars, and they pretty much almost always park their silver Mercedes SUV in an unmarked parking spot, which you're allowed to do for 3 days a week, and he does it every day of the week for, I guess it's been years now, but and it just highlights their harassment where they tried to have my car impounded for parking in my own titled and deeded parking spot that's actually geographically listed its location on my deed and title report for my home. So, yeah, all kinds of shenanigans going on. My dog must have found one of the dogs in heat that's over here and peed in the bushes because he is so interested in this. This way, Tracker. Let's go this way. Even the poor dog, we're both so... There's this one guy who was a drug dealer here in the grow house and homophobe and hated and threatened me for having disabilities. Oh my gosh, all kinds of crazy stuff. So he would take his dogs when he took them into the swimming pool. And when I would walk by, he would throw his dogs and beat them into the chain link fence until they were yelping and crying to get them to react. And he was telling them I'm attacking them and he's hurting you, Bella, he's hurting you, Bella, and beat the dog for quite a while into the fence. But I was told by the police through other instances that I'm not allowed to make any reports or file any claims because the property management company has somehow convinced all law enforcement that I'm not allowed to report the vandalism in the community or the bombs thrown at my house or the death threats or anything. So it's just crazy. I know it all sounds crazy when you hear it all at once, but holy crap, it's just bonkers. Wait, you want to go this way? Okay, let's go this way. Let's go this way. So, oh yeah, his car's still here. So is the other one next to it. So, actually, they were actually outside of my house. This board member and somebody else, and they were colluding to harass me and that they were going to do violation reports on my house for having plants out in front of my house, which is bizarre because everybody's allowed to have, in fact, the previous board allowed me to have plants outside my house. Oh, here's another house, building 11. Property management company won't fix the water panel access door, so they all have, every time it rains, the inside of the house gets more damaged. And some of these don't even have water drains. And some of them are even ground level so that the water runs directly into the house. We were also denied a security door because they refused it because I guess the gay people aren't allowed to have security doors. And we were attacked at our house. They tore the screen door off, tried to kick in the front door. The door jamb is cracked where the lock connects. And this car is always parked here. Always parked in an unmarked parking spot. Which is strange because I think that's a board member's car. But oh, here's another board member's house that has plants growing over the sidewalk. They just came into my house, not into my house, but at my front door and had the landscape people just cut all my plants off. But this is a board member's house who has plants outside their house, plants in the flower box that were taken out, and then they have their actual patio plants growing into the street, like into the street, like blocking space. No, so here we are. Here's another house where the property management company has facilitated damage. Building 9. Water panel access doors open. Oh, this guy has been moving his car, but he has an out-of-state expired license plate in the back. And he took the license plates off the front of the car. And so what they do is the people with expired plates like this Subaru, they have no license plate on the front and their expired license plate in the back, which I was told I'm not allowed to park my own car backwards, but hey, they get to do whatever they want. Oh, and then here's another example of people with plants literally on the sidewalk. Big pots in the back and plants over the walkway. And they were allowed to have a security door. We have people that are storing cars for family who get safe list parking passes, and they allow it to happen. But at our house, we have to have our cars registered with the property management company, which we have since 2006 and 2015 and 2000. Yet for some reason, the property management company and parking control do not enforce it, except they harass me at my house. Oh, here's another building that the property management company, the company is called Total Property Management, and they leave the water panel access doors open all the time. So yeah, just a boring video of documenting all the stuff that we get harassed for, yet we're not even in violation and other people are, and nothing happens. Nothing. I'm also doing this because I have 8 terabytes of video stored on my phone and I am out of cloud storage. And the new plan is way too expensive to be able to afford to document this stuff. So this is where we're at. Oh, see, there's a truck parked backwards with no license plate in the front, obstructing. You can't even see the light all the way into the bushes. And then this black truck belongs to a resident here, and they always park in the parking spot, always in the unmarked parking spot, month after month after month, year after year, and there's no accountability. He even parks his expired motorcycle in the spots and leaves it there for a long time. Oh wait, I hear a car. Let's wait. Okay. Well, that car has driven by me 3 times. I have no idea who it is or why they're driving through the community like that. I think we're going to have to probably walk to another community because the dog's not super interested in doing his business this morning here. Oh, there's another house with the water panel access doors open. I guess it's house 142, but the property management company has both water panel access doors there behind that bush open. So the mice and the rats and the snails and the skunks and the termites and all the other damage that occurs because the property management company will not do their job. And that's even more frustrating because the board actually is participating in fraudulent activities costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage that they're not repairing. And it's like, we are actually budget fall short, like way short on funds. And somebody on the board who's friends with somebody who works in the community gave them a no-bid contract to waste money on our light poles with replacing the panels and stuff. So I'm not sure what's going on. We literally had to have an audit from a third party, and we are way behind on where we should be because of all the money that the board has wasted on things. It's like we had, oh good Lord, somebody on the board thought it would be a good idea to pay somebody $80,000 to plant the very front of our complex here with new plants. And I guess it was, gotta go this way, Trigger, go downhill. I think the invoice was $80,000 and some change. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, and then in the back of the complex, one of the board members used the funds to tear out the asphalt and concrete at the back of the community, took out all the guest parking spots, repaved it, and turned it into their own private unmarked parking spots. And I'm guessing that was at least probably $20,000 of wasted funds to make a pretty smooth parking spot for their extra cars. Which, not a super big deal other than the fact that everybody has 2 parking spots. Either they have a 2-car garage or they have a 1-car garage and a titled and deeded parking spot like I have. Yet some of these other people take their 2 parking spots and the board members take their 2 garage spots and then take additional spots within the community. And there is no accountability for the board members defrauding the HOA for the fees and fines that are required to be administered for people who violate the CC&Rs. So, yeah, it's just no fun sometimes. I was really disappointed to learn that also for the city of Aliso Viejo, the board, we don't have like a mayor per se, we have a rotating group of people, and one of them is a horrible racist Nazi bigot who promotes having black people murdered and supported, I think, the Kill the Gays bill ballot initiative, and is one of the election deniers and a supporter of the insurrection and all kinds of just horrible shit. And the community rotated him back into a position of mayor, which is, when you think about it, it's kind of abhorrent that community leaders would even think that somebody who supports having people murdered for the color of their skin and that police should be able to do whatever they want to whomever they want, as long as they leave the straight white males alone. But yeah, it's nuts. Oh, there's a bird. It's like even here on cottages, these people trim their bushes back mostly. We like to walk to this community called Cottages because people they're really nice here. We met one lady who has an amazing succulent garden, just spectacular. And I was looking at it, and I said something to her camera that it looked really nice, and we can become little friends. So she gave me a whole bunch of her starts and extra pieces of succulents. So now I have a whole bunch of succulents at my front door. But the board, for some reason, sent one of our third-party vendors to my house to cut the blooms off the flowers. Cut them way down so that they'll never come back again, just killing them all. But it was only one specific type of flower they decided they didn't like. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But you know, I was talking with some of the people who live here, and I think almost every HOA in the community has really bad people in charge, because the good people know that we can't affect any change in the HOA unless you have a majority of people. And I have been the accountant for we can't walk here on the street for multiple online businesses, and have been able to easily audit and detail every expenditure down to the penny and balance things out. Yet we're not, our paperwork for invoicing. Stop it right now. Stop it. Stop. There we go. Okay, we're okay. My poor dog. We've been attacked so many times by other dogs in the community that my dog is now reactionary to every dog that starts to get aggressive. And so it's no fun. Right there. Stay right there. Right there. Okay, I gotta go. Let's go. There you go. Good boy. Yeah, the guy that's the drug dealer in the grow house for years, he has 2 huskies, and he lets them off leash all the time and uses the street as his private property. And the dogs have attacked me multiple times. I've been bitten on 6 different occasions and mauled by those dogs. The last one, the dog was out on the street and we were walking by and I didn't see it. And it jumped out and attacked us. And the dog's not too big, but man, that husky fucked my back up so bad that I still can't walk straight. I had to hold that dog down. And then the guy, Scott, called his buddies, the police, who, on more than one occasion, were some of his customer base for his drug dealer business, and called the police and told them while I'm standing there, called in a false police report that there's all of these criminal complaints against me for breaking into people's houses and climbing into second-story balconies and breaking into people's patios and just all kinds of nonsense. So I'm standing there, and he's just bullshitting the police, and they're like, yeah, whatever. And so later, after I'm walking around, the police show up. I got blood running down my leg from being mauled by the dog. And the police refused to take any statement from me and told me if I didn't like being attacked, I need to go live somewhere else. So that's the kind of just horrid, degenerate, and dishonest. Oh, they got the dog. We looked at one of those dogs, and I thought they would be a nice dog to have because they're hyperallergenic and really quiet and a little high-strung. But then a min pin is, he's high-strung too, so I think it's about even Steven pretty much. Like some dogs are super affectionate, but not particularly bright, so training is hard. And some dogs are way too big for a tiny house. So yeah, so here we are in Cottages. It's a really nice community. But in every community there's always somebody who's no fun, but everybody here is really, that we've ever come in contact, has been really nice. Actually, they've been respectful, which is something we don't get at all in our community. I had somebody tell me the other day that I just needed to forgive all the stuff that the drug dealer guy has done, and all the bitings, all the maulings, and the death threats, and the false police reports, and all that. And I just need to just forgive him and be his friend and let all things just flow under the bridge. And I'm like, you have got to fucking be kidding me. Really, that guy would dump containers of urine in the plants. Other neighbors sprayed poison on a 7-year established little monarch butterfly haven and killed everything. All the flowers, all the milkweed, all the chrysalises, everything. Butterflies and everything. Poisoned everything and killed it all. And it's like, it's so difficult to even have a safe place at your own home. And it's really difficult to try to even live under that kind of crap. So this house, 70, they have a stolen key to our community for our tennis court and our pool. And he runs tennis camps and t-ball and baseball and softball training in our community. And when I tried to mention this to the property management company, he lied and said, well, they live there, so they can do whatever they want. And so I'm like, so the guy who's our contact for the property management company is also a large part of the problem. When I had the police officer who was sending his kids down to threaten me and gaslight people that I was raping them in the street. Oh, just all kinds of horrid shit. I went to the board meeting and said we need to do something about that. And they told me they're not going to do anything. If I don't like it, I just need to not walk outside my front door. Literally. I was told I'm not allowed to use my own community features because if other people are out who are dangerous and criminal, I am not allowed equal access to what I have to pay for every month in our association. Literally, they told me, if you don't like it, just don't go outside when they're outside. It's like, what the hell are they talking about? These people are scattered throughout the entire community. They actually have stalked me when I have left to take my dog to a dog park to go walking. They followed me in their car and harassed me at the dog park. And it's like, good Lord. I mean, growing up as a gay person, a lot of us gay people just put up with stuff over and over and over again because we know nobody is trustworthy or helpful. Aw, that's too bad. Somebody's been having their dogs poop around cottages, and it's kind of grody, and that's not even a coyote poop. Oh. God. Let's keep walking. So at least the high point of the day, I forgot I made a scheduled therapy appointment for but man, I'm glad I did. I need it so bad. I'm having a hard time saying it. Yeah, this is a nice community. A lot of people have done really nice work who live here, do a nicer job maintaining their yard space around here. So it's fun. How you doing? Not too bad. How do you like your dog? Before we got him, I thought one of those would be bad, but somebody said they're a little rough to train.
Cat dog. You know, cats are kind of aloof.
Yeah, they're.
He does his own thing, but it's taken me years to get him to like come back to me. I'll let him off leash across the street, let him chase coyotes.
So that guy is a really nice realtor in the area. He helps host garage sales in his community. And he used to do a host garage sale in our community, but some of the new board people decided that they don't want him in the community to host garage sales because they said there's not enough parking. And there's plenty of guest parking and openity if the board members didn't steal parking spots and if they actually enforced the rules in a fair and consistent manner without using them to do fraudulent reports and to harass people they don't like. I mean, they've been participating and facilitating so many hate crimes and death threats against me and my dog in our community that it really doesn't feel safe to walk around the community anymore. But it's like I don't get intimidated very well. I'll get angry, but it makes me be less resistant. It makes me more resistant to the harassment and the threats. So I'm one of those people that the harder you push, the deeper I dig myself in the ground to not move or be moved. I guess that goes from years of being the adopted kid that was just had the shit beat out of him by the adoptive parents because they were those type of parents that threatened you that anybody found out what they do to you, I would be sorry. It's like they would, even with their real kids, they would take us into their room and shut the door so nobody could see what they were doing. And then those siblings, it's hard because you want to have a relationship with your brothers and sisters, but it's hard when everything you experience is discounted and considered an exaggeration or untrue. No matter what they do, the parents did or have done or say, it's always just denied or ignored. So I'm trying to, break relationships with my adoptive parents and try to maintain relationships with my siblings. But it's hard on them too because they don't want to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth because it requires you to either take action or have an opinion or ignore it and just ignore it and pretend like anything you say an exaggeration. But this is parents who thought black people should be beat up more frequently because they're too uppity and don't know their place. And I kind of had a falling out with my dad. This was years and years ago when he said that. This was shortly after the Trayvon Martin execution by a neighbor. My dad was like, he deserved it because he was too uppity, didn't know his place. And I was like, good grief, what kind of shit is that? And then when COVID hit, my adoptive mother took the time to call me and explain to me why her opinion in this mattered, because COVID was some sort of second coming of Christ to help kill people who God wanted to die. And so their thing was to help facilitate that. And that was like the last straw. I put up with a lot of stuff against me because, nobody has a perfect family life. Granted, some of us have a worse one, but yeah. And I'm like, you know what? Once they start peddling, I was really done with it. Frustrating is because a brother-in-law had died from obnoxious behavior like that, and his wife had died from behavior like that. And then I was like, you know what? No. But yeah, so that's what these videos are going to be. They're going to be a silly little chat session and documenting violations in the community. I didn't document everything because just my emotional fortitude if we get threatened by people in the community. Because it's just no fun, and then I get really mad. And part of my problem is, that if they get me really mad, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit, because now that my spouse has died from pancreatic cancer, and the HOA board and the property management company have started to facilitate more harassment and just petty things like coming to my house and cutting the wildflowers out of my pots. And actually, they weren't even anywhere near the walk space, but the hedges and the landscaping that they're supposed to maintain are actually into the sidewalk on both sides. I'll show it to you. I actually have videos on YouTube where I documented my plants. Like, I stood all the way where they're sitting and nothing was even over the edge of the pot towards the sidewalk. None of the flowers were. They were just tall, straight stalks that went straight up. But yeah, so here's this is straight on at the edge of the bush, and they're way out into the walkway. And even the plants on this side are also growing into the sidewalk. And it's just crazy. But yeah, there were a couple of plants like this that were all the way in the back. See where that hole is? So actually, the pot has been moved. It sits all the way back here, like. It sits all the way up against the wall in the back. So they're literally, there's my pot. Even the pot is not even out as far as the bushes are. So that's what we have. Well, this is what I have. I have some decorative plants here that people have kind of tore things up in here. My jade plant, kids come up and tear the leaves off. Oh my God. Now that I think about it, it's crazy, but that's what we deal with here. Alrighty, up on the steps. Now, how the hell do you turn this thing off?